Does anybody have anything that they're like, I need to get this answered like right now? If you do, go ahead and either unmute yourself really quick, or you can't raise your hand because there's 3 pages and I won't see you guys. But right now is where you get uncomfortable, right? You have something, there 3 pages of people stayed on, but I don't see any questions. So, okay, wait, maybe there are some questions. I just don't see them. Nope, but you guys are all welcome. I love how appreciative and grateful you guys are. It's really awesome. It is go time, Susan. You're absolutely right. Questions?
I have a question.
Okay, who's I? Is that?
Me.
Okay, what's up, girlfriend?
Okay, so I want to be Diamond.
Okay.
I know I want to be Diamond. And I have a group of coaches that don't have the same vision I have.
Right.
What do I do?
That's okay. You know, that's okay. Like, do you know what I mean? It's okay that they don't have your same vision. You keep inviting and you'll find another Marlene. Do you know what I'm saying? Another person that shares your vision. So I'd be willing to say you need to share with more and keep sharing your vision like publicly. Does that make sense? Because your people will catch it. You know what I mean? Like Rebecca did not have my vision initially. You guys know what I'm talking about when I say Rebecca Bain. If you don't follow her, she's awesome. She's a mom of 5. She's hit incredible, accolades, achievements in this company. One very big one financially. And she did not want the stupid shake. That word keeps coming up. How come everybody thinks it's a stupid shake, including me? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, why does everybody say that? But she didn't want the stupid shake, and she could totally get it cheaper on Amazon, the program. Do you know what I mean? And it grew in over time. She caught on to the vision. Does that make sense of me sharing? You know what I mean? And she had small victories. And so I think that's what we can do with our coaches is try to figure out how to get them small victories, but they have to be willing to show up. And if they're not willing to show up, we have to keep looking for those people that are willing to show up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Because I know I've watched a lot of people talk about motivating your coaches. How do you motivate? And everybody says, if you're doing it, then they'll be motivated. Well, I do it.
No, that's not true. I mean, that's not true. I signed up 26 coaches last year, and I have 3 from 2016 actually working it, and I have not missed a beat in my business. Does that make sense? So that's not exactly true. That's the first way to become a belief maker. That's where they're pulling from. They're pulling from John Maxwell's teaching on being a belief maker. And the first piece that must be there for people to follow you is for you to be doing it, to be setting the example, which you got. But there's more pieces to that, right? So the next piece, the people have to be doing it. The next piece is you have to help them get small victories, whether it be a social media Facebook live like post, or maybe it's their first vulnerable post on helping them make their first post on social media, or maybe it's running their first free group. Like, we have to work on really helping build that up. But if they're not even showing up, you can't do it for them, right? And so the piece that is really big that comes to this is we can't really motivate people. Like, we're like that, like we aren't the source, right? We're the messenger, right? I think we put a lot on our shoulders. I mean, if you go through the checklist and you say, yes, I'm showing up. Yes, I'm creating a safe environment for people to grow. Yes, I have really mastered how to share the coaching opportunity. I mean, that's something always to look at, everybody that's on here. If you notice you end up with a lot of coaches that aren't doing much, go, and Sherry can probably speak to this a little bit. We've worked on that, is you have to go and look at what your invite sounded like. Did you invite for the discount? That's a sure way to get people only focused on the discount, right? Do you have advocates, right? So the best coaches are the ones that are advocates for this, meaning they freaking love Shakeology. Do you know, and they are committed to it, right? And so sometimes we jump trying to get people to be advocates before they have the story. You know what I mean? And so if someone won't even do the challenge group part of it, they won't drink the Shakeology and all that stuff and even push play, they haven't become the advocate yet. So my focus with new coaches is always on personal development and their own fitness journey and sharing their story. So that's where I start a lot of times with people. So it'll take my coaches. I bet my 2016 coaches will start to come alive in 2017. I expect that. Sometimes I'll get someone right away that's like, boom, like Crystal, when Crystal no, she quit once. That's a lie. Casey Wallace, you know what I mean? She came in and right away, like, I'm in. You know what I mean? Like, whoop, like right to the top. You know what I mean? But that's not generally, most people have like I had 16 months and there was nothing, and I was fit. I wasn't good at nutrition, but I was fit. I had the background. You couldn't have shared any more with me when it comes to how good the products are to make me believe it, because I already knew it. You know what I mean? From a personal trainer standpoint, but for 16 months, I did nothing, you know? And so it's not, I guess what I'm getting at, there's nothing my coach could have done to motivate me. I needed to get to my pain point. Sometimes as coaches, we need to get to that place where we're like, I'm done. I hate it. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. And this is where I'm going. Right. And though, how do we get our coaches going there is we share our pain points. It's that vulnerability piece. But if you go through and you look at those pieces, you guys, and you're like, okay, nope, I'm doing it. I'm showing up. I've been inviting consistently. I show up on social media. I push play. I drink my shake. You know what I mean? And you're like, okay, I got that example piece of it done. You're like, yep, I'm doing my personal development. And you look at your invites and you're like, yes, I used a third-party tool, or I got on the phone with them and I formed them and heard what their need was and shared it according to, yes, I did all that. And you watch the closing video and you listen to me talk about how to close and you're like, yes, I've been doing that. And you've done all of those things. If you got those skills, then I would say it's just time. It's finding more people. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah. Which I taught closing and I still practice closing. I'm just going to be honest. You know what I mean? Sometimes I get off the phone and I was like, well, that wasn't good. You know what I mean? That was, I say like, so what do you think? And I'm like, no, what do you think, Summer? Like, do you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, so you know what I mean? Like, this is just all part of that process. But you have to invite, like Courtney Bell is going to share with this group, but she did a lot of inviting, like a lot of people.
Feel like the people that you invite to the coaching opportunity, they need to be challengers before you offer that coaching opportunity?
It depends. When I get on the phone, like I just talked to this really awesome new coach. You might have seen me introduce her. Her name's Tara, and she's not all in with the coaching yet, but I knew she would need the community. Does that make sense? So I shared it in that fashion. And I said, like, let's start here. Let's start with personal development. She ordered the push, Shalene push, and, we're getting her all access set up and drink your shake and get surrounded by this group. So when I was listening to her, I knew her need was community. She really needed to be surrounded by y'all. You know what I mean? And I shared it that way. She's never been a challenger of mine. You know what I mean? Megan wasn't a challenger of mine, but Megan, Mutasi, and I have started out more on the challenger side to work her towards the advocacy and being surrounded by you guys and personal development. And now, like, she's now writing down her vision and like, this is what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And that just took time. You jumped somewhere. I don't know where you went on my screen, but, oh, wait. Did she leave? Oh, no, there she is.
I'm here. I'm still here.
All my squares move on me. But it really just is, a process. I don't share for the discount. I really don't. I never say, I feel like I'd cut them short if I just told them there was a discount. Not that I don't mention that, but I tell them I have even been known to say, I'm not just going to tell you about the discount because I'd be selling you short as to what this could be in your life.
Yeah, when I first started, that's a few of the people that I shared it with. That's how I shared it, was a discount. But like the last 5 people or 6 people probably, that's not how I've shared it, but that's still how they're using it.
Right. And I think it'll just take them time. Like they show up, maybe we can get them on webinars, or maybe they start personal development. They start to get results in their journey and really, really do feel like an advocate for it. And we teach them how to share their story. You know what I mean? As people start to connect to their story, they get excited about their story. And that's really where we want to get people. But we can't get them there for them. Does that make sense? And so,
yeah, because like Chris and I, Kristen's my upline, and her and I talked about this. And I told her, I was like, I'd love to be diamond. I have enough coaches on my team to be diamond, but I have to have 2 emeralds to do that. So, it's like you can't force somebody to become emerald. I can keep adding people and adding people and adding people, but I can never become diamond because none of them are becoming emerald.
So maybe the question is, I think that's awesome. That means you're really good at recruiting. That's a gift of yours. You know what I mean? And that is something you can teach other people, right? And so you're really good at adding coaches. How do you do that? Do you know what I mean? Make a write that out. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, come up with a little checklist and then share it. And then ask your coaches. You guys, don't be afraid to go and survey your coaches and ask them, like, hey.
What I did tonight is I sent a text to every single one of my coaches and said, are you ready to build your Beachbody business?
Okay.
I just point blank asked them.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to hear what their response is. If they're like, no, I'm not, then okay, then that means move on.
I would, yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you could do that, and now you know who's like, no, right? Or you could make a form or something with them. Like, are you more in this for the discount, or would you love to learn how to make $200, or would you like to make, you know what I mean? Is there a bigger vision that you have? I want to know how to coach you best. You know what I mean? And if they all say discount, 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 you got a bunch of challengers. No need to tell them about the team calls. No need. They are what Beachbody would call like VIP challengers. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how they should be treated. They're still on the team page, so they can change at any time. A lot of us were VIP challengers to begin with, and that's okay. So then like, that's not where my time needs to be spent, except coaching them as challengers. That's all they are, right? But some of them might be like, well, I mean, I could use an extra $200. You could, one of the questions could be, would you like to learn how to pay for your Shakeology? Like some people be like, and to make sure can I help you remove that financial, piece and make more room in your budget? You know what I mean? There's all these type of things we can do. I mean, that is what Doug, what's his name? Shoot, hold on a second. He's a corporate guy, came and talked at one of our leadership events. He challenged us all to send like questionnaires to our coaches and ask them those 4 questions. You know what I mean? Just so we could get in, like we could sift kind of where they go and honor them. You know what I mean? Like where do they want, and then where to focus your time, right? And so if you're struggling with that piece, I would change your vocabulary when you talk to people maybe and say, or even like when you post on Facebook or maybe if you do a Facebook Live, I would change what you say to say, I'm looking for 2 people that really want to learn how to create what I've created with this business. You know what I mean? Like you're looking for people that want to learn how to create the business. You know what I mean? And I would put that out there. I would start talking that way on the phone, be like, well, I'm not exactly sure where you're at with everything. And I know you've been rocking this challenge group, and I know that you have a heart of gold. I am looking right now for 2 people to really link arms with me and to really start to build this and to reach more people like you and myself and to build this thing together. Do you know what I mean? Like, doesn't that sound exciting to me? Did anybody write that down? Y'all write that down. Do you know what I mean? Say that to people. They might be like, oh gosh, I got a lot on my plate right now. And it's like, all right, that's okay. We can start just with the community piece. But now you already know, you put that out there. You sifted the person. You know what I mean? You kind of put them over here. You get on the phone and say that to enough people, you're going to find 2 people that you can teach to go emerald. Promise you.
Well, another thing that I really loved about this last Danny Johnson that she said is that she said that not everybody is for you. Not everybody's for you. And that you need to just point blank ask them, are you committed? Are you ready? Are you ready? Or do you want this?
Yep.
And, like she brought out her script for like when she used to offer like her diet pills or whatever she sold before. And she said that if they said, well, yeah, my goal is kind of, she goes, well, then I don't think you're committed. I don't think you're ready. Then you're not going to, I don't want you to be my customer.
Let me ask you this. If Kristen would have spoke to you like that though, how would you have felt? Would you given her the middle finger? I know a piece of your story, so don't you be lying to me, girlfriend.
If she would have said it that way to me, I would have been like, screw it.
Yeah, me too. I would have told my coach that too. I'm just being honest with you. I would have told her to kiss it. No.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I mean?
I think that I just feel like, sometimes like what she said, she goes, you need to discover where they're at, if they're committed, if they're ready, if they're, and that's not how I've been doing it. I would definitely have been doing this from my heart, like to help people.
Yeah.
And, as far as like the coaches that have signed up with me, they love the products. They, use the products. So,
Right. And I think like, if you think your mentality, and a lot of you guys are on here, your mentality has shifted over time. So I bet how you've shared it has your language with your coaches, your Facebook posts, they have shifted. So you're starting to attract, you will start to attract different people. Does that make sense? And those people that you attracted before, when you were talking a little differently, they're in the team page. They might come along and they might not. Not everybody can go with you. We talked about that in Palm Springs when people came out. And Sean Harper came and spoke, and we talked. Not everybody can go with you. And that is a hard pill to swallow sometimes. You can't make them do anything, but we can start to tweak how we share. So you can take what Danny taught you and tweak it a little bit, so that people don't give you the finger like you would and like I would, do you know what I mean? And say something, maybe say it just a little different, and give them their options. Like, what I want to make sure that I am serving you and that my time is focused with those that want to be focused on the business. Which one of these best describes you? Are you more just interested in the discount and remaining a VIP challenger with me? 2, are you interested in learning how to, get your Shakeology paid for? 3, are you looking to add, maybe learn how to pay for your car payment or your mortgage? Do you know what I mean? Like, you can rearrange it however you want. And now they don't feel like they're just like, it's this or nothing. You know what I mean? But now you know where people are at. Because really, if someone wants to leave their job and someone wants to make $500 a month, the activities are the same. The activities are the same for someone that wants to pay for their Shakeology. We have to invite. You know what I mean? But now you know where they're at. That's where I would go with that. Okay? That was good, though. I know that can be frustrating. Trust me. And it's not because you don't have a title. 2016, I had the least coaches engage with me out of the 26 that I recruited. See, I'm not a huge recruiter. I'm not like, I don't have like 100 people I'm recruiting. 26 and like 3 of them. 3. And I have the titles. You know what I mean? I have results. So it's not you. Does that make sense? And I definitely know how to close people. I know how to share. I've been doing Facebook. It's not you. Do you know what I mean? Those people, I have no doubt, will come. You know what I mean? As they get small victories. Okay, got time for one more question, like 5 more minutes, and I want you guys to go to bed. I think this eye needs to go to bed. But anything else? Come on. No? Come on, throw me a good one.
Okay, I have a question, but I don't know if it's good.
I don't know who's name.
Elise.
There you are. Okay.
Cool. Okay, so I heard you mention something about showing them like a presentation, the third-party tool. And if I'm talking to people that kind of know what I'm doing, I have the bank of coach videos on the YouTube channel. I saved one from the coaching sneak peek that you did. It was like 35 minutes. Anyway, it was a good video. Do you ever, like, some people know I'm doing something, but they're not on Facebook, so they don't know exactly what I'm doing. But I get scared to send them something super Beachbody right off the bat because a lot of people give Beachbody a bad name. Like, what is the tool that you most often send people, I guess?
You're talking about for the coaching?
Yeah.
So, and you've already said the have you ever considered thing? But they're not
people
on
that are more like, what are you doing? I heard you're, like working from home. I heard you're making money doing something from home, that aren't necessarily following me on Facebook.
I mean, I always tell people I'm, if I'm being honest, and this might sound corny, I open with that, but I helped the Summers of 7 years ago.
Okay.
That's it. And you got to imagine what people think when I say that, like, right? So I'm already willing to be vulnerable. What was Summer like 7 years ago? You know what I mean? Like, I'm willing to put it out there, and And that's what I say. You know what I mean? And I say the summer of 7 years ago was, and that piece of paper I've taught you guys, memorize that piece of paper. Don't forget where you came from. Don't forget where you came from. You know, and that's what I share and that's what I share all the time. I don't care who I'm talking to. Tonight, you guys, after, you know, and this is where things can lead you when you brand yourself, when you put your phone down, when you're willing to talk and engage and be vulnerable and share, and it will point you to where, you know, you end up in the craziest places. Tonight, I ended up talking to a 12-year-old and an aunt, okay? This 12-year-old lost her mom at Christmas to a stroke. And 5 years ago, her dad died from a brain aneurysm, right? She has two other sisters, and they bounce between their aunts here, right? This 12-year-old has eaten her emotions, as you can imagine, okay? And she, and I got recommended to help her with her nutrition, you know what I mean? And to talk to her aunt, because her aunt was like, we don't eat healthy. Can you just help us? And did you know I didn't talk about all my certifications for adolescents and all that kind of stuff? I said, listen, and I touched her and I said, listen, I know how that feels on some level. You know what I mean? I was the big boned girl. I was the thicker sister. You know what I mean? I grew up on Pop-Tarts and toaster strudels and Taco Bell. And right there, you know what I mean? I did not go into all the facts that I know. You know what I mean? And I did a lot of listening, right? And so I said, listen, this is what I do for a living. I helped the summers of 7 years ago. I also helped the summers of when they were 12. So you're in the right spot. You know what I mean? And I turned over and looked at her aunt and said, you don't have to do this alone. And I said, are you on Facebook? And they're both like, we both are. So let's just friend each other, and I'll send you a free meal plan, and we'll start there. That's it. That's all we're doing right now. You know, does that make sense? And so right away, that's all I shared.
So it's more or less you do a conversation versus sending them something to watch on their own and come back.
I mean, if I was for the coaching opportunity, like I would answer just like I talked. So I conversate on Facebook the same way I talk with people. That's why I say a lot of times like, hey girl, because that's really how I talk in person. Now, I don't mean to dishonor anybody by, you know, not using their name or anything, but that's really like when I see you, that's like saying like, what's up? That's how Chad says like, what's up, buddy? You know what I mean? That's my like love term. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if you get a hey girl, we're good. Do you know what I mean? Like, and so I talk just like I talk in person. I talk in Facebook. You know what I mean? And so I would have, if someone were to send me that on Facebook or send me an email, that would be my response back, is I helped the summers of 7 years ago. You know, and I kind of laugh about it. I was like, it's funny that I have ended up creating a purpose-driven business around helping the summers that used to struggle so much. That's my response.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
They really can't. I mean, really, if you said that to someone, let's talk about Echo for a second. If someone said, Echo, what is this whole, they could even attack her and say, what's this whole stupid thing that I see you doing? You know what I mean? And Echo could say like, this is, instead of being like, it ain't stupid. You know what I mean? Like, that's how some of us want to fire back. Be like, hey, I get it. I know exactly what you mean. The first time I walked in and talked to my coach, I told her not to take my damn M&Ms. You know, like right that she just weaved her story. Boom. Right. Someone tried to put her down. She weaved in her story. I said, I get it. And I know it can look silly, but honestly, my heart is to help the echoes of 4 years ago. The echo of 4 years ago was, and she shares it. And that's what I do. And I get laughed at sometimes, but my heart's in it. And I've built a purpose-driven business around it. So if you know of anybody that has struggled like I have, please don't be afraid to send them my way. I will love them and take care of them. I mean, can anybody, I mean, they just called your business stupid and you just came back and what? Recovered the whole thing with that. I hope someone wrote that down. You know what I mean? Because that is stuff you can practice. You can say, hey, husband, tell me my business is stupid. He's going to be like, what? I thought I wasn't supposed to. No, tell me my business is stupid. I'm going to practice saying this. You know what I mean? Like, and he said like, hey, what are you doing? Your business, are you doing this stupid beach body thing too? And you can practice staying calm and saying like, I get it. I used to feel that way. You know, I felt that way when I walked into my first fit club with my coach and I told her not to take my damn M&Ms. But you know what? I built a purpose-driven business around helping the echoes of 4 years ago. You see, right? I mean, if you get used to doing that, like it will just right off your tongue in such a genuine, non-attacking way. And you can feel good about it. That's what we do. I mean, if you think about that, Aaron Schaefer, Aaron helps the Aarons of, 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago, right? And anytime Aaron forgets who she's helping, she needs to watch the video that she made a few years ago about where Aaron used to be. But how can you not? No one can really sit there and judge you if you're being vulnerable like that and telling them that. No one's going to be like, you're dumb. They're going to be like, you might. Actually, as I shared this story with the 12-year-old, the aunt started to cry. You know what I'm saying? And they hadn't seen me on Facebook. We weren't even on Facebook together. See what I'm saying? So that was a good last question to end on, you guys. I want you guys to practice that. You're welcome. I want you guys to write down. I don't care if it was you a month ago. That's your business is behind helping those people. I don't care if it was a year ago. Where were you at? Get vulnerable with it. You know what I mean? Like, you have moved through it for a reason, right? How powerful is that? So that's what your business revolves around. And that's why this business is so awesome, because there are the Aarons out there, and the Echoes and the Susans and the Patties and the Elises and the Jens and the Sherry. They're out there. There's only one you. Do you understand that? And you won't be everybody's cup of tea. I am not everybody's cup of tea. And that's okay, because my business is out there looking for the Summers of 7 years ago. And that's my mission. And my mission is to build a team that can virtually get into every household with every story. Summer can't do that by herself, because I don't have Echo's story. I don't have Kessa's story. I don't have Aaron's story. I don't have Jen's story. I don't have Crystal's story. I don't have Kimberly Wilcox's story. Do you guys understand me? I have to build a team. If I'm going to get into every house, I need your story. And you need a team of people with their story. And that's what your business is around. And all we have to do is teach our coaches to share that. No one can take their story away from them. No one can tell them their story is stupid. And no one can fault them for building a business around where they came from. There's a lot of heart, a lot of character, and a lot of integrity in that. And they can stand tall on that mission. So if we teach our coaches how to say what I just taught you guys, they're going to be amazing. And they're going to infiltrate houses, and they're going to have small victories, because they're going to change someone's life. And there's nothing like being a part of a life that changed, a life that is saved. Someone pulled out of depression. Someone pulled away from pills. Someone pulled away from drugs. Marriage is saved. Debt paid off. There is nothing like that. And their heart is going to, but we have to place our coaches in places and get them inviting, so that they can share their story, so that they can have that feeling. And now they become connected to the mission. Does that make sense? All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Seriously, I love this is where, like, I get filled back up. And I hope you guys, and my cup is full right now, just listening to you guys, and your stories are right in front of my face right now, thinking about you guys. And so I hope it does the same for you guys. Thank you so much. You guys are teachable and awesome. And I wouldn't be where I am without you guys. So thank you. All right, you guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good night. I love you guys. I'll see ya.